Washington mornings on the Mall. And AM 630.
WMAL. Good morning, everybody. It is 6:37 on WMAL. That applause you hear should give you a cue that we are not in studio today in the District of Columbia. In fact, we are out in the Commonwealth of Virginia, the Old Dominion. We are at the Silver Diner in McLean. I guess it's the Silver Diner Tyson's, technically McLean. We'd love to have you come out and join us as we take our show on the road for the Swing State Roadshow. It's Brian Wilson, joined today by Larry O'Connor from Breitbart TV, and we are very pleased. Yeah, there's no. I didn't hear any.
Yeah, did you notice that? No, please.
You're not supposed to start those applause yourself.
Thanks, Mom.
We are pleased to be joined by Barbara Comstock, a Virginia delegate. Hello, Barbara. How are you?
Great.
Hold that microphone up nice and close, if you would, Barbara. I wanted to ask you the first question, the most important question. On your way in, did you happen to see Congressman Jim Moran anywhere?
He was not rushing in, no.
You didn't see him anywhere. Well, his chair is here, and we have some questions for the congressman, and we want him to know again this morning that the chair will be here all morning long. Love for you to come by, Congressman. We have just a few questions about what's happened over there in the last few days.
Well, fortunately, my congressman is Congressman Frank Wolf.
Okay. So. Barbara,
and as far as we know, his office doesn't know much about voter fraud, right? They haven't actually been handing out instruction sheets on how to fake ballots.
I worked for him for 5 years, never.
Good to know.
All right, Barbara, I want to talk to you about the state of play in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Now, I have numbers. You know how I love to crunch the numbers. In the Commonwealth of Virginia right now, there's a Fox poll that came out yesterday. Romney leads statewide +2. Rasmussen, Romney +2. If you take all of the recent polls that have been conducted in the Commonwealth over the last few weeks, the Real Clear Politics average of polls has Romney leading by 1.5. So it's still very, very close in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Many people say it could still go either way. It really is going to come down to ground game. So talk to me about the ground game, because I was in Virginia in the last election cycle, and I got to tell you, when I saw the Obama ground game and I compared it to what I saw in the Republican ground game at the time, the Obama people had a much better ground game. How is it different this time around?
Oh, it's 180 degrees different. You're right. In 2008, they did have a very active ground game. I know just in my own neighborhood, by the summer, people had come by twice, canvassing. What we did is in 2009, when Governor McDonnell ran for governor, and that's when I first ran for office too, we went out there and we rebuilt, and we really made a strong grassroots effort. And that is how we won back 6 House seats. How the governor, came in at 57%, historic high, was just rebuilding the entire party. So we have a lot of local people. I myself, when I ran, knocked on 10,000 doors in 2009, and then when I was reelected in 2011 by 10%, did another 10,000. And so I've been out this summer and all through the fall. We have offices all around here in McLean and Sterling. We have a very active ground game. If you drive around here, you will see lots of Romney signs. And until just a few weeks ago, you didn't find any Obama signs at all. And it was such a stark difference. Mark Warner, our senator, noticed. He said, "Hey, I've been driving around here with Tim Kaine, and we aren't noticing any signs the way we did in 2008." So
isn't that interesting? All right, so knocking on doors, does that really make a difference?
Oh, it makes a huge difference, because instead of listening to whatever the folks in Washington or in New York or talking heads are talking about, you're actually talking to real voters, and we see people. What are your interests? And you find out that number 1, 2, and 3 is the economy and jobs, and people are very concerned, about their kids not having jobs. When you knock on doors, you meet people who have those kids, who are living at home with them, or have had to close their business, or their husband lost their job. Or when you're knocking on doors, you're finding those people who are home, who would have been at a job, a couple of years ago, and they've been waiting to get those jobs. So it's really a good opportunity to. I like to do it, even in an off year. I'm not on the ballot this year. I'm on next year. But you really get to know your district, know the neighborhoods,
right,
and get in touch. And I think that's been something that's been very helpful for Governor McDonnell. Congressman Frank Wolf, who I had worked for, I said was my congressman, that's how he was elected back in 1980, and that's how he continues to be reelected, is staying in touch like that.
This is kind of awkward because I don't want to, contradict our guest, but you just said that the jobs and the economy are the most important issues to the voters in Virginia. I'm sorry, birth control is the most important issue in the state of Virginia. Everybody knows that. But I'm obviously, but you're a woman. Apparently, there's all these new ads now. There was an ad actually comparing voting for Barack Obama with losing your virginity. I don't know if you have heard
no
this.
No kidding. We're not making that up.
You couldn't make it up, actually. But are you hearing any of that? Is there any concern about this wedge issues that are coming out here right now, trying to drum up popular support for Obama for the women's vote?
Well, that would be the Creed strategy, which was the strategy that Creed Deeds, who ran for governor against Bob McDonnell, ran in 2009.
We know how that worked out.
And I think he had about 42%. And I think when as the president himself said back in 2008, when you don't have a record to run on, you try and distract and make attacks. And there's all kinds of false attacks there. You can't even begin to go through it. But I think that's why it's important when you do that door-to-door, when you have a grassroots operation, you're talking to people about their top priorities and top concerns and telling them about the plans that Governor Romney and Paul Ryan and our Senate candidate, George Allen, and Congressman.
So when you're on the doorstep, the woman doesn't say, and I understand I haven't worked in 2 years, but let's talk birth control. That doesn't come up?
How about that? Isn't that?
I'm serious. We're breaking news here. I'm shocked to hear this
because if you look at some of the ads that run, you would suspect that's the only thing that's on the people's mind. So as we get down to the last hours of this campaign, literally, this is where the rubber meets the road. How do you feel about where people are and the enthusiasm level on your side of the equation?
Well, the enthusiasm level has been great. I mean, fortunately, when you're a swing state, you have the candidates who are here quite a bit. Tomorrow, actually, right in here in McLean, Ann Romney is going to be here for a rally at 9 a.m.
Wow.
Hey, that's cool.
So it's at the McLean Central Park, which is at the intersection of Route 123 and Ingleside, right across from Jay Gilbert's restaurant. So give them a little plug, too.
Aren't you all glad you took the day off to come see us? You could have seen Ann Romney tomorrow, but no, you got to work.
The doors will open at 7:30 a.m. You can go on to mittromney.com and get tickets today, so you're all lined up and can get in there. But we had a rally in Leesburg. We had over 10,000 people down in Shenandoah Valley. We had Trace Adkins came in. We had about a 15,000 person rally. There's been great enthusiasm. I feel we're probably going to be a little bit more than that 2%.
All right.
But I always run like you're 10 points behind. Stay in touch with everybody, and that's how you win.
Virginia Delegate Barbara Comstock, thank you for joining us here.